Hey guys, welcome back to SoccerholicsTV, here with Ben and Chris, of course. So as we approach the end of the year, we just thought we would have a review so far of the English Premier League. There's been lots of surprises for me personally. We're going to talk about the top of the table, the bottom of the table, some players that have come through, the teams that have come through, any shocks, etc. So Chris, let's start with, as I look at the top of the table as it stands now, the top six teams are Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal and Bournemouth. As I didn't say Man United because they're not in there. They're down into 8th place. And only separates them is 32 points at the top of the table down to 20 for Bournemouth at number 6. Mm-hmm. And we're only halfway through the year as we start. So let me ask you, who are you surprised first of all by that top 6? And where do you see this going? Do you think Man City will go all the way with a very short point lead at the moment?
Seeing as you love to say City, and just to reference back to an old video, I'm going to say no. This is Liverpool's season, just to stay with cohesiveness of what I've past said. And to be honest, the way how we go to all these pubs that are representing the top 6, it's very simple to understand that these people expect that their teams to win these big games, whether it's the small games, the big games in the EPL. So it's not surprising to see that the top 5 have pulled away. Bournemouth, with Howe, has stuck with their philosophy in investing in reasonable players and actually growing with players that are trying to trick kind of their mentality to like grow. So you're looking at former players that like that used to play for Liverpool as a young prospect, Ake as well for Chelsea as well. 2 players that maybe didn't break it into Liverpool or Chelsea. Now they've broken in with Bournemouth and their key people. Callum Wilson has been a fantastic striker, not only for me personally in fantasy, but he's done a phenomenal job for Bournemouth and. Of course, Fraser as well. He's broken into the Scottish national team as well, if I do recall correctly. So there's a lot of good stand-up people for Bournemouth, and that's just to educate people on Bournemouth. The other top 5, it's what you expect. As for how long this City reign's going to run or last for, we don't know. But that's just to show you that City is next to near perfect in that sense, while the other 4 other expected usual contenders of the top 6, as we've dubbed it as the media to make it very entertaining for us, they are more or less doing their usual jobs. Because if you look at it any other season, if you remove Man City, any 4 of those teams would be considered top dog in the EPL right now as we're looking at it. So this is what makes the season interesting, but not interesting because we're expecting that City is City. What's your opinion on City, though?
Well, I think we've covered a few games. I think they're absolute. I mean, they've been absolute class, really. Raheem Sterling just signed a brand new contract, has done very well, filling the void of Kevin De Bruyne, who's been injured. We haven't seen him back yet, and there's that good old saying, well, not a good old saying, but normally when a player gets injured, it's really hard for them to come back, depending on the injury. Yeah. So, I think City, under Pep Guardiola, you look at that team and you go, wow, just, so much quality is on that pitch. If I'm Guardiola, I'm kind of like looking over the English Premier League and going towards Champions League.
Are you saying City should get Pogba from United?
No, it's accented.
Oh, okay, it's okay. It's
all right. No one should have Pogba. We're going to that in a minute.
Oh, for real? Okay, but I'll touch on one thing. I don't think it was Sterling that's replaced De Bruyne's lack of minutes. I think it's been more of Bernardo Silva and as well.
But when you look at that team, the insurgents of like who makes that team, like Hazard makes Chelsea, I'm looking at Sterling. I'm looking at Sterling now making Man City because he's definitely what people are talking about. Scoring goals.
For me, it's more the system though. Compared to that, look, you have Ederson from the back. You got their core center backs, and now Stone and Laporte as well. But for me, mentioning the player, referencing to the player that you mentioned, I think it's Bernardo Silva that's filled in more or less that role of what Kevin De Bruyne was doing. He's not achieving the same goals or assist tallies. Sterling, I think, is on pace to doing what he was doing last season. Same thing with Aguero. Yep. And Sané is just kind of fighting for minutes with Marnez, their recent acquisition as well, which is actually pretty neat to see these fit in.
Yeah, definitely.
But you have more to say about the Premier League.
Well, Liverpool obviously going to be, a great contender. Chelsea and Tottenham, I feel, have kind of stalled at the moment. They're not, they've had some results, but they're not. I look at them and go, because obviously the big games this weekend is Tottenham against Chelsea. But I think those top 2 are definitely contenders. And let's talk about our beloved Arsenal, because we are Arsenal fans.
I feel we didn't give Chelsea and Tottenham enough love. I'm going to give Tottenham this Hear me out. I love Arsenal and everything, but we got to give these other teams some love.
Yeah, of course.
Tottenham, They've done a stellar job. The only problem that I'm going to say, where's their new stadium? Why haven't you guys moved in? They've done a really good job in Champions League. Same thing with Chelsea. They've done a really good job in Europa League, and they've taken the Sarri almost quicker than they have taken to Conte. But as I touched on before with my little rant about City, any of these other 4 teams that we're about to go through, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, or Arsenal, on any other season, they would be top of the division with their point tally that they have right now. City is literally doing video game-like performances in the Premier League.
They are, and
so
it's just quality.
So Arsenal, what's your take?
Well, Arsenal, man. I mean,
Emery in, Emery out.
Why have you got to ask me that? It's like it's stupid to ask. Obviously, like I'm not.
But are you?
That's not even on anyone's lips. Well, of course, people are playing well, but like I said, I've always been someone that's against. You play as a player. You play for yourself. You don't play for the coach.
Okay, all right.
And that's why I think we're getting confused here. Mm-hmm. These people are getting paid way a lot of money, so they should perform regardless of who's coaching them, because they've been around for a while. These aren't new players. This isn't like a 16-year-old coming in and we're teaching him how to play. But this is people like Mesut Ozil, Lacazette, Aubameyang, well-placed players that have been playing the game for a long time.
Okay,
right? And I get you're right. You need a system. You need a coach that tells you how to play the game maybe a little bit better. But come on, it's down to the individuals. That's these players get paid a lot of money.
You bring up some good points, but you have to also give credit to those things that you seem like you're kind of a bit undermining. Like with the system that they've implemented, you need to change the culture. When you bring in a new manager, like to reference Chelsea, Sarri came in. He changed the system completely. Conte's not a destroyer anymore in the midfield. He's more of a midfielder. Yeah. And to touch onto your money point, he just recently signed a 5-year deal. Yep. $290K. So you gotta get used to that. You can't use that money.
Mate, all a coach is paid to do is try to get the best out of their players. That's all the coach is paid to do. Right? So he needs to come out with a better system.
The coach brings in the staff. The staff helps execute the plan of the coach. The coach came in with a plan. The fitness coaches have done a really good job to get back on the Arsenal. They've done video review. They practice. They're playing ball at the back. They've convinced the fans. Mm-hmm. They've done everything that you've wanted over the past years in the past videos that you've been saying. Arsenal isn't the Arsenal. We have our Arsenal back. That's what they were singing at Fulham. We have our Arsenal back.
Well, 11 game unbeaten run, right?
No, it's 16,
16
bro.
now?
Yes.
Oh, 16.
We've had 3 ties, man, but it's okay. Trust me, it's been a long run. It's not as long as the Invincibles, but
it's not. But I mean, hey, look, we're doing really well, so I'm really proud to be an Arsenal fan.
But for me, I don't think this team has enough to win the league, of course. I think maybe they'll squeak in 4th, but most likely they're probably going to finish 5th. And maybe we'll probably get into Europa League based off of that. Credit to Emery. I'm not the biggest fan of him, appealing if he's representing the club. For me, he looks like a creepy guy, but you know what? He knows his stuff.
But people aren't based on what they look like.
Yeah, you know what?
They're not hired because of what they look like.
No, I agree.
They're hired because they've got a resume of.
You know what? I'm just used to looking at Arsene Wenger. You know what? He's a classy old man.
And he was better looking, was he?
Yeah, of course, man.
Okay.
I like my Frenchman. What can I say?
Yeah, I know. All right, let's talk about the bottom of the table. So we have Cardiff, Huddersfield, Fulham. Mm-hmm. Fulham obviously just appointed Claudio Ranieri, former Leicester City manager, took them to the top all the way. Mm-hmm. So I'm really rooting for him because I think I like him. He's a great adversary of the game. I think he's got a lot of knowledge. But I think they're going to need to buy some players in January. They're going to need to get some more players there to make, because you can't. Fulham don't really have a great team. That's why they're bottom of the league.
No, Fulham has a great team.
But they're gonna. Hopefully they'll get the money. Hopefully they'll get the money.
Fulham right now have conceded the most goals, I think, in the top flight right now in the EPL.
Yep.
This season. The only problem with Fulham is the same problem that we used to have with Arsenal. It's just that they're playing an attacking, expressive football. Like, look, the difference between a Fulham and a Wolves, which is right now sitting currently mid-table, is simply because Fulham don't know how to defend. Like, look, Arsenal loaned out Callum Chambers, like a top-level player that's supposed to be playing for a top-6 side or a top-half side. Yeah. And he's struggling down there. So, once again, it comes down to the system. The coach was too expressive. He tried to go play too much attacking football. And Fulham suffered. Don't get me wrong. Fulham, they have Mitrovic. They have really good attackers. All you need Ranieri to do is just really reinstill the confidence. And similar to that, yes, these are top talented players, but they need confidence. So sometimes you need a new manager to come in, do their thing, and
see what happens. Yeah.
So yeah.
And then we talk about Mourinho Pogba. We spoke about it in a previous video that I did. Mm-hmm. There seems to be a bit of calm now between the two.
There's never been anything for me. It's just literally the media was like, "Oh, we have nothing to talk about. Well, let's try to stir something."
It's not. You don't think there's been a bust-up?
Look, the thing is,
it was plain to see there was a bust-up.
No, Manchester United is one of the most successful teams in the English Premier League.
Yeah.
Right now, they are not having a successful
Struggling.
period.
Yeah.
They're struggling. So everyone will do anything that they can to tear those guys down right now. So
Well,
for me, honestly, you know what?
But also, the players aren't performing on the pitch, mate.
Yeah, but you know what? Look,
if you can't, you're not gonna, you can't argue that.
Look at that top 5 and look at the English Premier League. They're bringing in some of the best players, the best managers into this league that we enjoy commercially across the globe. Like, look, we're doing this in Toronto, and we're talking about in England, 20 of the top teams in England's top flight of like 5-6 divisions. You know that. Mm-hmm. Of course, there are going to be managers that outsmart Mourinho. Of course, Mourinho isn't going to have the ability to buy all the best players to be able to compete in everything else. Mm-hmm. But more or less, sometimes there's only going to be one winner at the end of the season. That's the other thing. Yep. So no matter what, out of the top 6, as we dub it as the media, one of the teams is going to win it. 3 of the other teams are going to be somewhat satisfied because they got in the Champions League. And 2 are going to be like, oh, man, we're in Europa League. Europa League's still in Europe. So, like, I wish collectively fan bases could adjust their tribalism towards their club, that they're the best club. And with United, they've had a very extremely long reign that I don't think a lot of the other teams in the Premier League are going to see. Maybe City, if they're lucky.
Everyone knows Man U's not the same club since Alex Ferguson left. Everyone knows that.
Everyone knows that. But
everyone who's not even a fan knows that.
No, but you see, here's the thing, though. You may know that. I may know that. And we're both not
The club knows that.
No, the club doesn't, because
of course they do, mate.
No, they're always gonna turn back to history. That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's
the
what I'm saying. They're never gonna be as good as when Alex Ferguson's
No,
charge.
but the thing is, though, with fans don't forget the good times. So if you're saying that, then why aren't the fans adjusting their expectations? Because the fun fact is, the fans are not. You didn't.
Well, that's true.
No, but for instance, I'll take a good instant example to wrap this up for you. Arsenal. When Wenger in the last 3-5 years, for instance, was struggling and such, to really perform and really go compete in Champions League and go to Europa League, you had the envisionment of what the Invincible was. And every time Wenger lost the game, same thing with Mourinho right now. No, but
but times change, mate. You've got to move with the times.
No,
right?
But here's the thing, though. When you move with the times, you're not accepting the team for what they are right now. Like, for instance, Southampton, just to touch on some of the teams at the bottom, for instance. Yeah. Southampton, 5 years ago, they had Lallana. They had freaking Mane. Yeah. They had such a good core. Virgil van Dijk, outstanding. They're a mid-table side. They could have pushed for Europe. Now they're struggling at the bottom, and they're pretty much banking on if Charlie Austin can stay fit. Hell, they even got a goal rightfully, unfortunately, taken away from them. And I'm kind of glad VAR's coming in so that way you can actually see teams. Because when teams are down at the bottom and they're trying to stay in the league, that's the most important thing for them. And I think it's no fun to be a yo-yo club down at the bottom. Like, if you're a top 6 side, okay, you're okay. But any team that's below that,
they're just making up the numbers, aren't they?
Simple. No, and that's...
I know, that's the sad part of the game, unfortunately. Because it comes into money as well. Money as well, right?
No, but that's the thing. So, you know what? To be honest, like, I'd rather watch the championship sometimes now, to be honest.
Yeah.
At least, like, you can win.
Just quickly, so what team has surprised you? Good and bad.
Wolves.
Yeah, I was going to say Wolves too.
Oh, there. Well,
I
said Wolves first, though.
Yeah, well, I say it. All right. So
fine. So I'll say someone different. I'll let you have Wolves.
No, I'm going to say what?
You can say Wolves.
I'm going to say Wolves because over the same agreement. Because the Portuguese players that they've been brought in have just done. They've done really well. They've adjusted to the English Premier League.
Okay,
toughest
fine.
leagues in the world.
So what I will say to give our fans some more education, I will say Bournemouth, because Howe has done an outstanding job as well. But because I mentioned Bournemouth before, I'm going to say Everton as well. Right. To give a shout out to Marco Silva and Carlson and the rest of that crew as well. Right. And what team has disappointed you so far this season?
I don't really have one that's disappointed me, really. Bournemouth are in the top 6. And Man United aren't. So okay, let's say Man United. I'm surprised that Mourinho's still in his job. I'm surprised that because I don't know, because he's arrogant and he's not getting his way and he's losing.
That sounds
it's great.
Bias, but
no, it's not bias.
I'm not gonna open that box.
I'm happy that he's struggling, but the fans of the club, they deserve better.
Save it for part 2. We
don't have part 2.
No, you're gonna do a part 2 on him. I guarantee.
We've already covered him before.
That's you. No, anyway. I haven't covered him. But for me, if I had to pick a struggling team, this is gonna be a tough one. But for Fulham, I actually expected a lot of Fulham this season based off of what I was reading about them in the Championship and a lot of the signings that they did. Hopefully, as we were talking earlier before, Ranieri actually comes in, actually does something a bit more successful. And seeing as I love doing two teams, another team I've been a bit more disappointed about is Newcastle. Newcastle should be doing much better. They should be more in the top half right now, but because they can't seem to address, they have a really good manager in Rafa. They just can't get a striker. Literally, if Fulham could take, didn't they have Mitrovic? I think they did.
Mitrovic, yeah, they did.
What the hell are you doing, Rafa? Either way, I'm not going to get there. I'll say that for my own personal video with Newcastle. So, yeah.
So 6 months down, 6 more months to go, and we will see what happens in the year of 2019 for the EPL.
What? So, wait, are we saying happy holidays?
No, not yet, because we're not there yet.
Oh, we're not
Yeah,
there.
so we've got more shoots to do. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoy the video. Please comment below. Let us know if you agree with our points, disagree. We'd like to get your guys' feedback.
Did we not cover any topics that you guys didn't want to hear either, by the way? By any chance? Any topics? Any?
We don't know.
We don't know?
They can't. Camera doesn't answer back. Anyway,
it does.
let's see what happens. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. SoccerholicsTV.